We've been keeping all of our baby stuff in here. I walked down here so many times in the last few weeks, look inside and just walk right back up. I have not had the motivation and I've been too overwhelmed to take a look, but I'm getting past that now, I think. Here's what we're working with in here. This little tiny A-frame is packed full of wonderful, wonderful gifts from amazing people. I'm having an issue with microphones. Sorry about the quality. It has been quite a project to try to film this video. Given the nature of what we do and our lives that we put online, there aren't a whole lot of secrets. So here we go. I've not wanted to talk about our birth plan from the very beginning for a few reasons. What is a birth plan? How exactly do you plan for birth? It seems like something you just can't plan for. No matter what, you can write your preferences on a piece of paper, but how exactly do you plan for your birth? So that's something hard to wrap my head around. If you do plan for your birth and have your list of goals written down for your hospital birth, your home birth, that also seems very personal to me. So it's just something that I haven't exactly wanted to share. I don't want other people's opinions on my idea of a good time or bad or like birth, because everybody has their opinion based on their own experiences in life. And last, I haven't wanted to talk about my birth plan because it's very likely that plans would change in the event of a birth. And everything that I had planned on has now completely changed. We found out a few weeks ago that our baby is Breech. And here in Colorado, that is a big bummer because you can't deliver Breech babies vaginally. Breech births had been practiced up through the 80s and 90s and then stopped because naturally there's more liability for a doctor to deliver a breech baby than there would be for a C-section. At this point, midwives and OBs are no longer trained in breech births, so it's just a lost art. It is a variation of normal to have a breech baby. It's not very common, but it is a variation of normal. There's not a lot that you can do for breech babies, but there is some stuff, and I tried everything there is to try. I tried acupuncture and chiropractic work for the very first time. We did moxibustion on my pinky toes, which is saging my pinky toes. I tried homeopathy. I bought the entire Spinning Babies course. Did any additional exercise that I could find online, inversions. I stayed walking. I put music down in my pelvis area, lights down in my pelvic area, cold up here, hot down here. I spent most of my time upside down trying to get this baby to flip. And at first I was asking her to flip. Please, baby, please flip. Then when I realized that she wasn't, I thought there must be a reason that she is breech right now. Some stats said that only 4% of babies end up breech. So what are you doing, girl? But if that percentage is that low, there must be a reason. I've asked myself why so many times and have had to stop because that is such an intellectual, human thing of me to try to figure out the why when all of this that's happening is so complex, so much more complex. It's a dynamic dance between two of us that I can't make sense of in my simple little human brain. I've also come to trust that her soul just came from the spirit dimension, from where all of the souls congregate. I don't know what that looks like, but she just came from there. I've been on this earth for 33 years, getting real stupid and earthly, and she's much smarter than I am. So as much as I want to figure out why and try to understand if I did anything wrong or what I can do to fix this, this girl's got it going on. She's got a lot to teach me and I need to just let her. The final thing that I could do for this baby to try to get her to flip is called an ECV. And I went back and forth because it's a very traumatic and stressful procedure for both the mother and the baby. I told my midwife that I didn't think it was the procedure for me, and she thought, well, you can quit at any time and you might feel better about things having tried it versus not. So after talking in great length with Barron, we both together as a couple chose to give it a shot. And I don't regret that we did, but I wouldn't do it again. We left for the hospital at 5 a.m. They hooked me up as though I was going to go into an emergency C-section in case something did go wrong, so they walked me through everything that could go wrong. It didn't instill a whole lot of confidence in me, but at least I knew what this would look like if there was an emergency. I had one OB on my left, one on my right. The one on my left was pulling the baby up, trying to get her out of my pelvis, and the other was trying to manually rotate her. And I knew that this would be a painful procedure, but I didn't realize it would be so painful. And it's something I'm really glad that we do not have on camera because it would be very hard to watch it back. If you had seen me 30 minutes ago, I was sobbing and shaking. It felt so unnatural and so wrong that we gave it 2 short attempts, and after the second, the doctor said, do you want to quit? I remember apologizing and saying, I'm so sorry, I don't want to waste your time. I don't know, what do you think? But the doctor had previously said, in an appointment prior, that babies will flip quickly if they're going to flip. So in the car, Barron and I agreed that if she doesn't flip quickly, we're done. We're not going to force her. Thanks to Barron helping me make that call in the heat of the moment, we stopped. It was over. We had to stay at the hospital for monitoring for 4 more hours. And it's something that I really wouldn't recommend. Do you have anything you want to say?
Well, I just think it's one of those instances where we're trying to be as dynamic and fluid as possible and like prepare for anything and not get like set in our ways one way or the other. And that's how we want to be when baby comes too. But I don't know, you just catch yourself not being as flexible as you thought, and that's just how things go. You know, like that's why we don't get like too attached to any design in our house, because things change, and that's just life. Like this is the storyline that we're on, and this is what's gonna happen, and that's all good. Then we gotta like count our blessings in that and be grateful that Elsa's all good, baby's all good. We just have to go through a different situation than we were thinking.
Are these the cutest? These are from Barron's cousin, baby Docs. There is still time for her to flip. Some babies do flip on their own, 38, 39 weeks, the day of labor. So I'm still kind of holding out hope and trusting that she'll do what she wants. But if she doesn't, we are faced with our only option, that is a C-section. I need to bring some of this stuff up to the house, so I will dive into that in just a minute. For the sake of documenting something that I have hardly documented, this is my belly. It keeps being so fun for me to look back at older videos from like weeks ago, a couple months ago, and feel like my belly was huge at that time. And now to see it for what it is currently, it's just a wild experience. But look, my belly's stretching just really nice. No stretch marks. People say stretch marks are hereditary. My mom had stretch marks, and it could be because this is my first baby, like things could change second time around, whatever. But something that I have been doing for a long time, maybe 3 years, 2 to 3 years on and off, is drinking collagen. I've drank collagen every day that I've been pregnant. I do have a little kitty scratch here and all over the rest of my body. I started drinking collagen years ago to go with my cacao that I would make every day. And I just wanted the support for my hair, skin, and nails. And it's clearly made a huge impact. A lot of you have asked what I do for my hair and skin routine, and we have only just gotten our shower done. So there's not much on the outside that I do, just very simple products. I wash my hair with eggs for a long time. I think the majority of what keeps my hair, skin, and nails looking nice is what's on the inside. And one of those things is collagen. And we get to have this video sponsored again by Needed. This is the collagen that I've been drinking throughout my pregnancy. Full amino acid profile listed right here, and they do third-party testing on all of their products. Ethically sourced from grass-fed, pasture-raised cows. They've given me a 20% off discount code for you guys to use on one single purchase, or if you want to start a subscription. That code is Elsa, and you can find the link to this product and everything else in the description. I'm going to show you how I make my decaf coffee with this, because I think most people drink coffee over cacao. And then tomorrow morning when I get up, I'll show you how I use this in my cacao drink that I make every day. Got my decaf espresso. Okay, Kitty, you're gonna have to get out of the shot. People don't like you on the counter. I add 1 scoop of collagen, small bloop of maple syrup, and I either add cream, milk, or butter, depending on what I have. Got cream today from some soup I was making. Give it a little blend. And since that's espresso, I add water to finish it off. I do all the same steps in regular coffee if I had regular coffee. So good. It's like a latte, healthy latte. Collagen tastes like nothing. You could add it to your water. You might taste it a little bit if you added it to your water. Kind of like gelatin. Tastes a little like gelatin. Cheers. Getting to see all the spaces you haven't seen in a while. I've been spending some time in here trying to finish one last launch of jewelry before the baby comes. The other day I came in here to try to film some of this video, but I just started crying. I have cried every single day since I found out about baby being Breech. Not today yet though. Maybe today's the day. Barron was actually born by C-section. His mother lost her first baby. She had some severe issue after a car accident that she got in when she was younger that wouldn't allow her to have kids normally. She had a near-death experience. She chose to come back from her near-death experience and continue living life on Earth. And the last 6 weeks of Barron's pregnancy, she was monitored full-time in the hospital. Can you imagine spending 6 weeks in the hospital and the hardship for his dad to be going through too with all of this? Crazy. I can't believe it. Lisa ended up having 2 very healthy sons, and the only way she was able to do that was C-section. We talked a lot about it yesterday. They were out here for a visit. It was really helpful. It kind of shifted something in me for the first time in many weeks, just talking to somebody who C-section was the only option. And Barron turned out great. He's the most stable, secure person that I know. And that goes to show it's not just the birth that's important in a child's life. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about my knowledge of birth, my education, and this might ruffle some feathers. There seem to be 2 major camps of pregnancy and birth. There's the hospital camp, the medical, the format of birth that a lot of us were born into. Kind of what you see in the movies. You go in, have an epidural, push, 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 medication, doctors, people, pain. It's the most common because it's the most well-known. And I think it's the most trusted by most people. I started looking into alternative forms of birth because we tend to live a pretty alternative life in general. Alternative forms of eating, living, music, finances. We're pretty anti-establishment and we like to do things our own way. So of course, in thinking about having kids together, that is something that I also wanted to see what else was out there. And I found the world of free birthing. Free birthing is this other camp. It's not that there's just 2 camps, but these are the 2 main camps that surround me. The free birthing world is sovereign birth, no medication, usually unassisted. It's amazing to see the stories of empowerment from women who birth on their own terms and let their bodies do what they were designed to do. Women report having far less pain, having enjoyable, peaceful births, coming out of it on the other end in such a high with their baby. And it sounds just dreamy. It sounds amazing. But now being faced in my current situation with the intervention that I was least likely to ever choose to participate in, which is a C-section, I have realized how much fear I have toward the entire medical industry because of my knowledge and education of the world of free birth. I've had to look at my fears directly in the face and ask why, and try to figure out where they came from and what is the root. And the reason why I think this might ruffle some feathers is because the free birth arena is so well respected by the people within it, and I have been in that camp for so long. That's been my greatest desire, is to have, for a long time, an unassisted birth. For a long time that's all I wanted. I wanted no one here but Barron and I. That changed after the miscarriage, but I'll get into that. I've realized in looking at my own fears that it almost feels like the free birth world is a huge pendulum swing away from the hospital medical world. That this world is not suitable and not desirable and scary and has unnecessary interventions. The US has some of the highest mortality rates of childbirth of most modern developed countries. So of course there would be a shift of people wanting to go away from that, but I've just realized in my experience right now that I have so many fears now going the opposite direction because of the advice to stay away from the hospital. If you have a midwife, they're going to sabotage your birth. If you have a doctor, they want to sabotage your birth. It's all about money. It's an industry. And while, I see that industry very viscerally, that's why I avoid doctors as a whole, it almost feels like I have been programmed to have fear in the same way, but in the opposite direction. At the hospital, going in for to meet with the OB to see what we could do about breech and the ECV and stuff, he just had all of this fear around breech vaginal birth. And I noted that and was like, okay, that is not fear that the free birth world has. The free birth world says, this is normal, you can do it. You can be at home by yourself and just birth your breech baby. Just do it. You can. If you trust this doctor over here, he's going to ruin your birth. Your baby's going to come out sick. You're going to be on all these drugs. It's almost like this pendulum has created the thing that they are so strongly trying to escape from. And I know that's not the direct intention, obviously. The intentions are incredibly good. It's also not that because I'm finding myself not able to participate in this area of birthing that I want, that now I'm poo-pooing it because I don't get to do it. It's not that, I promise. It's just a realization that I've had that where did all of this fear come from? Oh, so I'm really looking at that and trying to figure that out. Going into our first pregnancy, I wanted to have a free birth. I wanted nothing to do with any doctors, including midwives. I didn't want any of it. I just wanted to let my body do what it was designed to do. We did end up getting a midwife because, I mean, we're far, far out here. We didn't have a roof on our house. We needed some help. We had a midwife, had just a few appointments with her before we lost the baby. And in losing the baby, we were at a motel. I was going back and forth bleeding between the shower and the toilet. And this was a Saturday, and that midwife had said, get back to me on Tuesday and let me know how you're feeling. So we were in just the midst of this huge, intense, painful situation with no help, no support. We were reaching out to the local OB to try to get some support, who just gave me a shit ton of abortion pills that I ended up taking to no avail. You can watch the miscarriage story if you care to hear the whole thing. And having no help from the midwife or the OB, in a way it solidified my feeling that why trust any of them, but it also showed me that there's no reason not to have some help and support going through something that I have no experience with. I've never seen a birth in real life. I've never seen animals born. Nobody in my immediate family offers support or advice on pregnancy, birth, child rearing. I've never seen a woman in postpartum because my friends are not having kids. I have no idea what's going on with any of this. And it also taught me that this is not something that I feel is fair to put on Barron, to expect Barron to be my midwife. As a woman, I think that I'm programmed with a different ability for nurturing and an intuitive ability to take care of a baby. I mean, I'm growing the thing myself. A man just has a completely different set of abilities that are so helpful in the whole process of having kids and everything. But if I'm struggling through a free birth and I'm looking at him for encouragement, for confidence, and he doesn't know if, should I listen to her? Should I take her to the hospital? Or should I push her and tell her that she can do it, she can do it? He doesn't know. And I don't think that that's right for me to, unless he has a huge desire and wants to really learn and educate himself, and that's a passion of his. I just don't feel that that's right for us. So for this current pregnancy, we got a new midwife because we wanted the support of somebody who has done this before. But now I feel like we're stuck again in a hard place where midwife can't help us. OB will only do a C-section. And given our history of having such an unsupported, traumatic, scary miscarriage alone, living an hour away from the closest hospital, it feels like I don't have any other options but to go for this C-section. And it's been devastating. It's been devastating, and I've cried a bunch, but those tears are for myself. It's taken weeks to grieve the loss of what I thought my birth was going to look like and realize that that was for me. It's me kind of shedding my maiden energy as I go into my mother energy, where, as I've said before, I no longer get to be selfish. I no longer am living just for myself. It's been pretty hard to tell people about this because, like I said, everybody has their own opinion and their own advice based on their own experience, as they should. I have people on this side saying, oh, of course you have to go get a C-section. That's the only thing that's safe. Don't let that stress you out. Don't be scared of a C-section. There's nothing to be afraid of. And while that is really, really great advice, I love it, that doesn't help me at all. It's like me telling somebody who's afraid of snakes or mice or spiders, that's nothing to be scared of. Don't be scared. It doesn't really work like that. Then I have the other camp of people who are telling me, no, Elsa, you can do it. You can do it alone. You don't need anyone. It's a variation of normal. It'll be better for you, better for the baby. Both sides kind of just fear-mongering me into what they think that I should do. It's been pretty interesting. And while there is still time for baby girl, or boy, who knows? Anything is possible at this point. I'm like half expecting her to pop out with a wiener. What I've learned from all of this is I gotta sit with what's inside of me and stop letting the external fears of others influence me in any way, because this is about the baby, it's about me, it's about Barron, and that's it. And here I am telling the whole story on YouTube. Which is the opposite of saying that this is just our story. But so many of you have become family. And as I've said before, I've just seen the support that has come from all of you through this whole pregnancy has been insane. Now that we've told our immediate family what's going on, it took us a few weeks. It feels like I want to tell you and let you know what's going on. I think we'll release 1 or 2 more videos before baby ends up coming. If she flips, we'll go one direction. If she doesn't flip, we'll go C-section route. I really just wanted to make this video to update you and to ask for prayers and good vibes. I do believe in the power of prayer. If you have any to throw our way, that would be so appreciated. Prayers to get baby to flip if she wants, or to get me to flip and be in a full, complete state of surrender to whatever unfolds for us. I'm really wishing for strength and courage and a lot of peace. And every day I'm just trying to trust that my life is unfolding for me perfectly. Well, I'm gonna finish this jewelry and let you know more about it at the end of this video. Look at this cutest set from Perusha People. I think they made this to be a wolf, but I saw it and I think it's coyote. Cute, love it. I think it'll fit a little bit better here soon when I don't have all this bulk in the way.
Are you filming?
Good morning. We're getting our new countertops in just over a month and I'm really excited about it. Barron went and picked up our new oven and our fridge. He placed the order for all of the plywood for our cabinets. And while I will be postpartum when the kitchen gets totally finished, I think it'll be worth it to have a little bit of chaos going on down here, to have a full finished kitchen when we have a fresh little baby. We weren't expecting to have all of that done, but Barron's dad gave us a really nice Christmas present and we're putting all of it toward our kitchen. It's just after 7, kind of a cloudy morning, so I'm gonna show you how I make cacao. We've got some 100% cacao. We have our collagen by Kneaded. I do about 10 trace mineral drops just for extra mineral. Just a little bit of maple syrup. I don't like it too terribly sweet. Man, if I had some marshmallows made, that'd definitely go in here too. Sprinkle of salt. Brings out all the flavors. I add my hot water, just a bit so that it doesn't overflow when I froth it. And then top it off with more hot water. So this drink has a nice serving of fat. It's not a breakfast replacement. I never replace my breakfast with any type of morning beverage. It's just the first thing that I like to have as soon as I wake up. It's a nice hot drink to stimulate my digestion, and the collagen is just really great support for my hair, especially as we go into postpartum. Postpartum hair loss is a thing, and collagen supposedly helps with that. It's great for helping the joints of my developing baby, my pelvic floor, the elasticity of my skin. It's very good for aging, and that's why I've drank it for so many years. I have a feeling that today is going to be a good day. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for watching this video. I think that I'm going to be taking a break from comments and from social media as a whole. I'll still upload videos, but I think it's time for me to step away and step into myself. So if you leave a comment, send me an email, whatever, I think I'm gonna be offline for the next I don't know how long, but I will be back to release some beautiful jewelry that I've been working on. I have a bunch of beaded jewelry and a bunch of really beautiful turquoise jewelry coming. I should get this up by early next week, like around February 11th. We'll see. Stay tuned for updates on the community page of our YouTube channel. I always give first access to patrons and YouTube members, and then I release the full launch of whatever's left to the public an hour later. It's just a way to say thank you to the people who support us on those platforms. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for your prayers and your positive energy, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.